This is Carl at National RV Detroit, and I'm going to walk through this 2021 Sunset Trail Superlight. Model number 212 RB. Alright. So you can see that this model has power stabilizer jacks, and there's the switch. One switch controls both rear, and then that switch up front controls both the front. All right. Your stairs fold into the trailer, obviously, and you can adjust the length of the legs by pulling the pin here. There's a pin on the other leg too, and you can slide them up and down accordingly and get them in the position you need them. You got a power awning with LED strip. You've got outdoor speakers, power and signal out to put a TV out here. This is the water heater on the outside. The switches to control it are inside the trailer. I just want to show you. This is where you drain it right here, of course. Takes an 1" 16" socket. Never a 6-point socket. Never drain it, of course, when the water's hot, or do anything to it when the water's hot. Always wait till it cools down. And you never light it without water in the tank either. If you're using an electrical heating element, if you start that up and there's not water in the tank, it'll burn out in a minute and a half or so. So keep that in mind. Of course, there's the switch for your front. Okay, this is your hitch. It's a Husky centerline weight distribution hitch with built-in sway control. So it's a good one. And this is your sprayer right here. Okay, you plug that into. I'll show you when we get to it where to plug it in, but it plugs in, of course. You've got 2 LP tanks full with an automatic changeover regulator. Your power tongue jack, you can pull this plug if you have to, and there's a crank that comes with it. You can put the crank on there and crank it manually in case it was to fail. That would be this one right here. Right there. Now, let me see. These can be cranked manually also. The type of crank that's used, it's a cylinder with a slot cut in it. You can see there's a pin there or a shaft with a pin going through it. So it fits right over that. You can crank them manually if you're in a bind. Okay. Also, one other thing is a deep cycle marine battery. That port there is to hook up a solar battery charger if you wanted to. And this is your kill switch, so you can turn the battery on and off with that switch. You would turn it off when you put it into storage, basically. It would keep the Phantom powered appliances, for example, like the LP detector and carbon monoxide detector, that sort of thing. That'll always draw from the battery even if you shut everything off. So if you disconnect it, your battery will not drain down as quickly in storage. That being said, you always want this on. Always want it connected when you're not in storage, because your power converter charges the battery, and your tow vehicle charges the battery, so you always want it on. All right. Okay, so this is the water station here. So the most common way to get water to the trailer here is the city water connection. Just hook the water on there and you're all set. Now if you go to a campground that does not have plumbing on the campsites, an older state park or maybe some rustic state forest, whatever, you can pre-fill the fresh water tank and then use the onboard 12-volt pump to pump the water. Okay, you also have a drain for the fresh water tank right there. You can see the white gate valve. That's the fresh water drain. Okay, so when we're looking at your slide out, I'll tell you that this type of slide out is called an AccuSlide. Just so you know, there are different types of slide rooms. This one is called an AccuSlide, just so you know. All right, we're still cleaning your trailer, by the way. It's a little dirty, but we're working on it. This is where that hose sprayer would hook up to right there. These are your dump valves. So the black valve for the black tank obviously is toilet water and waste. The gray is sink and shower water. So you always dump the gray first. I'm sorry, let me back up. You always dump the black first and then use the gray to wash it out. So make sure you you do it in that order and it'll clean it out a little better. Then, after you've dumped it all, you leave the valve open for the black tank, and you hook your hose right up to here. This is the black tank flush, so you hook your hose up here, turn it on, and it'll spray out the inside of your black tank, clean off the sensor so you get a good reading on the monitor panel, that sort of thing. Just make sure you open the black tank valve before you turn the water on. Alright, so this is your power cord. It's 30 feet long and 30 amp. We give you a reducer to reduce it down so you can plug it in at home if you need to. Just remember the air conditioner won't run on 15 amps at home. If you have a 15 amp circuit, it'll eventually pop the circuit breaker because it draws like 28 amps when the compressor kicks on. It cycles. There's spikes at that point, so keep that in mind. Also, this housing here tells us this is pre-wired for a backup camera. We do sell those here if you're interested. Also, you have a ladder, which makes it easy to inspect the roof. All trailers need to be inspected every 90 days. So you go up there, have someone else go up on your roof, look at all the sealant, make sure there's no cracking or separation where water can get through. Make sure there's no damage to the roof done by low branches or road debris flipping up there. Check the vent covers, the roofing material. Just give it a good inspection. And if you do see something, eventually, if you inspect it long enough, something will have to be touched up. All trailers do. So when you see that, just take care of it immediately. This trailer will be bone dry inside 20 years from now. So that's an important thing to do when you own a trailer. This is just a signal through, coax and cable through, satellite and cable through. Okay, so let's go inside. I do have the air conditioner. I just started it up so it feels much better in here. Okay, so here we are at the control panel. Turn the lights on here. Okay, so this switch here is for your power awning. Just in and out. It's very simple. Just don't leave the awning out unattended. If you're not going to be at the campsite, then make sure you roll it in so that it doesn't get damaged by the wind and weather. Your slide out is right here. Okay, these bolts run off 12 volts, so they run off the battery. Okay, your battery is charged, as you can see it right there. Fresh water is full, but we're still testing it. Black water is empty. As it fills, it goes up in 1/3 increments, of course. Once you get past 2/3, you got to start thinking about dumping the gray and black tank. Now this shows 2 black tanks and 2 grays. Well, it's a standardized panel. Actually, black one and gray one are the only ones you have to pay attention to because you have one of each. So, okay. To turn your water pump on, it's right here. You use this water pump for pumping water out of the fresh water tank, of course, and also for winterizing the trailer. You light your water heater on gas and electric. Always make sure there's water in the tank before you do that. The way to know is if you're hooked up to city water, for example, you can turn on your hot water. Any hot water valve, turn it on, and if the hot water tank is empty, it'll just be blowing out air, basically. As it fills, it'll start spitting out a little water and then more water, and eventually you'll get to a solid stream of water. Once you get to that point, you know it's full. Alright, so let's see what else. You also have tank heaters in this one. So you have heating pads on the tanks, so it actually extends your camping season. Okay, I think that covers it, yes. Alright, so we'll move this way. To light this oven, you spark it. You spark it by turning this clockwise to light the oven and the burners. So right there you see I sparked it and it lit. Now the oven's a little different. This is the oven out here. Basically down here at the bottom all the way to the back there's a pilot light. So you go to pilot, you depress this, then you start sparking it. You keep this depressed through the whole lighting procedure, spark it, and when this light's down here, you still hold this in for another 10 seconds or so, then go to your operating temperature. Of course, when you shut it off, the flame goes out, but so does the pilot light, so you have to relight the pilot light each time you use the oven. So range hood vent, light and vent, microwave like any other microwave. This is your sound here. We've got a can't quite get it without something. But anyway, there's a plastic cover over this right now, so you know you can remove that. Yeah. So this is printed on here, so just keep that in mind. That's got to come off. It's an AM/FM radio, of course. You have two speaker zones, A and B. A is inside the trailer, B is outside the trailer. You can stream off this USB port right here. Plus, you can use Bluetooth and stream wirelessly with your phone, from your phone or tablet. And this is an HDMI in, so that goes into the system. If you wanted to bring like a portable Blu-ray player with you, for example, you could plug it straight into there, and then plug it in and set it on the countertop, and you're all set. So that's it in. So it does a lot, everything you need to do, and then some. So it's excellent for camping. Your TV right here, keep in mind that there's a switch for your antenna up there. I don't know if you can see it very well. I'm trying to get a good picture of it. Let me come around this way. I didn't mean to turn it on there, but I'm going to have to set the camera down for 1 second so I can wrangle this TV here with two hands.
But Lisa's plans are about to change. Did you hear what we just heard?
There we go. So, you can see right there, there's a switch to turn on for your power antenna. So when you're watching things over the air through the antenna, you have to turn the antenna on.
Getting this job done is going to take some luck.
All right, so emergency window. Your bed pulls up, so you got storage underneath it, like a foot locker. This is a 12-volt compressor refrigerator here, so it runs off 12 volts. When you're pulling it down the road, the battery will keep it running, and your tow vehicle will charge the battery. And then when you're plugged in, your power converter will keep it running. So this is simple. You just turn it on, like so. You gotta hold the button a little longer.
250 miles north at Chandler Station.
Let's see if I got it here.
The Department of Transportation is already hard at work. That big hard eye is coming in from Siberia.
Aha. Give me 1 second here. There we go. So you have to hold it a while to get it to turn on and to get it to turn off. If you just poke it, it won't do that. Okay, so this is the temperature, obviously. You have a power saving mode for nighttime if you want. But either way, this runs off of a 12-volt compressor, so you got a lot of room inside, more than you would if you had gas absorption. Like I said, it'll run off the battery when you're pulling it down the road, and when you're plugged in, let me find the power converter here. When you're plugged in, it'll get energy from the power converter here. This power converter converts 110 AC to 12 volt DC, right? So you have 110 AC on this side, regular household type circuit breakers, and they're all labeled. Then the power is converted to 12 volt DC over here. You got 12 volt fuses, and they're all labeled. Okay, if a fuse was to blow, they'll actually light up, and you can see it glowing through this tinted plastic here. And going back to what I was just saying, this will also charge your battery. So as long as you're plugged in, it'll sense how much energy your battery needs, and if it's low, it'll send 10 amps or whatever it needs. If it's charged, if the battery's charged, it'll just trickle a couple up there to keep it topped off, okay? So that's your power converter. This table comes right off here and fits in this compartment underneath here. Okay. You also can turn this into a bed. Let me shut this TV off here. I didn't. There we go. Okay. So, let me look around here. Okay, so this device here, this is the LP gas and carbon monoxide detector. It's a safety device. It should always be green like it is. If this goes off, it's either detected carbon monoxide buildup or LP gas buildup / leak. If it goes off, obviously you take everybody outside, leave the door open, and then shut the gas off at the front and figure out what's going on. Also, if this beeps very slowly, it's telling you that the battery's low. So it's a low battery alarm too. So I'll set off run it through the test cycle so you can hear it. The first test is for LP gas, second one is for carbon monoxide. So here comes carbon monoxide. And low battery alarm. And back to green. So, like I said, it should always be green. It's a safety device. It's hardwired to the battery, so just keep that in mind. Okay. So, let's see. Just so you know, to get to the back of the water pump where the bypass valves are, you take that panel off right there. There's 2 screws holding it on, and you can see the valves under there, so you know that's where that's at. Okay. Your thermostat works like any other thermostat. You just hit the mode bar to light it up, then you scroll through heat, off, fan. Fan is the air conditioner running without the compressor. Then cool is air conditioning. Try to always run the fan and the AC on auto. That's the best way to run it. And I'll just go to off because I'm leaving the trailer in a second here. There's a slight delay, 5 or 6 seconds when you switch modes or turn it on and off, so it doesn't happen instantly. Okay, so the sink and the shower work like any other sink and shower. The fan should always be used with the shower to pull the humidity out. Now, if you haven't owned an RV before, it's good to know that the toilet needs to have water and chemical in it when you start using it. By toilet, I'm talking about the tank, which is directly below. That's the black tank, straight down there. Okay, so what you do is you pull into the campground, you hook up your power and your water, then you come in here, you have 1 dose of chemical, whichever kind you use, a packet or a scoop or a cup full or whatever, a cap full, depending on what one you use. You put 1 dose in there, then you step on the flush pedal, water comes swirling out, and it'll start filling up the black tank. You just put about 1 gallon or so of water in there. Some people use more, it's up to you. But the thing is, you got to have chemical and water in there before you start using it, because the smell will be really overwhelming and it can get clogged up also. So you always start off with water and chemical in it, okay? Alright. Alright, so let me look around and see if I forgot anything here. Okay, I'm looking around. Yeah, I think we did good, so. Okay, well, first I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit. And second of all, I want to remind you, like I always do with people, to inspect the seals on the trailer. Any place you see caulk from the factory and you go up on that ladder every 90 days or have somebody go up there, you can walk on the roof no problem. Just make sure you inspect it. And if you do see something, eventually, some year you will, take care of it immediately, okay? Thank you very much.